We're back with another episode from the lovely Thoughts and Friends podcast gang. It's your boy Brody. It's my man Wesley. Mostly we're going to talk some football. We've got National Football League Pigskin back tomorrow night. Recording this Wednesday, September 7th, 2022. Mere hours away from your reigning, defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams welcoming the Buffalo Bills into the vaunted home field advantage that is SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, back like we never left. Like we never left. Champs till we ain't the champs no more. Am I optimistic about this banner drop and the bull and the Bills coming in probably ready to put a pounding on someone? No, I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the minds might be elsewhere tomorrow night. But we're fucking dropping a banner. Who gives a shit? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in January. We're dropping banners. I'm happy about it. Yeah, happy to be talking football. We're so back. We're so back.
We can get some game by game stuff. We last year went game by game, picking each game. We're not going to do that this year because I find it to probably be incredibly boring. We'll get to a few games and we'll hit on stuff, but we're not going to pick every single game against the spread every single week. But if you do want us to do that and we're wrong about this, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Sure, let us know. Maybe we could do it.
We could do it separately as its own thing. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we could release it, do some quick hitters. Because last year we were pretty extensive on breaking down games, talking through stuff. I found myself saying a lot of the same things towards the back half of the year. So it just got a little redundant. Not really that entertaining to record. So I can't imagine it was that entertaining to listen to. So, but maybe we're wrong.
Yeah, picking against the spread. The NFL lines are so tight that it's like the lines are all exactly what they should be. There's no lines that are like wrong, like college football. Every once in a while, you're betting UTSA, and it's like this line just isn't right. Someone fucked up. You have zero of that in the NFL. The line is perfect. The score will end up within 2 or 3 points of whatever they say it's going to end up with every single time, usually.
Yeah, it's the most efficient betting market in all of sports betting is betting NFL sides and totals. So it's a losing game. It's a losing proposition. We did it for fun, just to track how we did and for something to talk about. But thought it got a little boring towards the end of the year, saying a lot of the same stuff. So, yeah, we'll hit on a few things, but not a full show of it.
No. What we are going to do each week, our favorite underdog, our favorite, what's a better way to say that? Our best favorite bet, our best underdog bet, and our best total bet. So
there you go.
We'll do that. I don't want to talk too much about Thursday night because this is coming out Thursday night, but it'll be out Thursday morning. So do you have any thoughts? You said you think you don't like your guys' chances tomorrow. I'm on the other side. I kind of like the Rams tomorrow.
I don't know how truthful all that is what I said. We're dropping banners. Typically, banner night is in any sport is kind of mind elsewhere, and you're there to be taken advantage of at times. But the Bills are the favorite. Josh Allen's the favorite to win MVP. Many say they're the best defense best team in the league. It's just a tough matchup in general, let alone without the distractions of opening night, let alone without the distractions of, I don't know if they're doing ring ceremonies. I don't know what they have pregame. So just in general, as a rule of thumb, it's just not a great spot, but I'm happy with the team. I think they're going to be really good. Loved Allen Robinson in the offseason. Offensive line, we'll see with the departure of the left tackle. We'll see. I think we're going to be totally fine. Offense will be pretty good. Hopefully the defense stays healthy because it is very top heavy. But yeah, I think they have every chance to make the playoffs in a really tough division and get me in the tournament, baby. Let's repeat. Let's do it.
Here's how I see it tomorrow. I think the Bills obviously are one of the best teams in the NFL. The degree to which people are crowning them and saying they are head and shoulders the best team in the NFL, I completely disagree with. I think they're very, very good. I think they and the Rams roster stacks up very similarly to me. I would say the Rams defense is better than the Bills defense, I think. I think Tre'Davious White, their top corner being out, is a huge miss. Yeah. He kind of allows them to just take one side of the field out and run a lot of different stuff. Like, obviously, the Bills defense is good, I think the Rams defense is, you could argue, better.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, there's some replacement.
Linebacker, like I think front seven, the Rams haven't beat there.
Yeah,
Secondary with White, the Bills probably have the best secondary in the
that's where I'm
NFL.
worried. Darius Williams really emerged last year, and he signed a big deal with Jacksonville in the offseason. He really emerged as the guy opposite of Ramsey. So they did bring Troy Hill back. I don't know if they have that guy yet on the other boundary. I don't know. Worried about the secondary, but they brought in Bobby Wagner. We'll get to see what he has left. Yeah, I think it's probably being a little overstated how good the Bills are. I think the progress they made last year and then kind of failing to close out the Chiefs in that playoff game, they just it seems like it's all there to make the jump
Sure.
to be the team. But yeah, how different of a roster really are they? I think they're a good team. We'll see if they're a great team. I'm not sure. But yeah, catching points at home in opening night, not a terrible spot for the Rams. But obviously, I will be pulling for my boys.
Yeah, my point is not. I think if you tell me the Bills are the best team in the NFL, I will give you no pushback. If you tell me there's a significant gap between them and the second
Yeah,
best team, I would give
there
you
almost
pushback.
never is. It's the NFL. There's almost never a significant
No,
gap, and I think they are
there's
being talked about like that. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
a lot of hype on the Bills this year. Well, then let's slide right into that. Super Bowl winner. How do you see it? Do you see any teams that you think the hype train is too high on? Teams that you think maybe can make some noise? And maybe
I'm
not even a
worried.
Super Bowl team, or we could take it however you want. Or do you want to go
We can
Super Bowl
talk.
picks first?
Let's because we're going to talk each division. We're going to talk conference a little bit, and let's build up to that. Let's start in a
Okay.
conference and build up to Super Bowl.
Let's talk
I think that would be
NFC, and we'll
okay.
go Atlantic Ocean to Pacific Ocean. NFC East, to me, the odds would suggest this is a two-team race. I think the Eagles run away with this thing, and I'm pretty sure you agree with me.
Love the Eagles. The
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys, I think Mike McCarthy gets fired by like week 10. I think they're going to be pretty bad. Their offensive line's in shambles. The defense overachieved. They got crazy turnover luck last year. I don't think they're that good. I think they're going to be like 500. I think the Eagles, we talked about it on a previous show. I think they could get the 1 seed. I think they're going to dominate this division. Easy Eagle pick for me. Maybe I'm wrong because Jalen Hurts could be bad, but they have everything that you want. They look like an incredible team. I think they could win the NFC. I really do.
I think they have a chance. Obviously, they wouldn't be my favorite to win the NFC. Defense top to bottom, very good on all three levels. Jalen Hurts, it's all about like the talent with Jalen Hurts is there. It's his ability to go through his progressions, get the ball to the right place, not try to make home run plays every time he drops back. And from reports in camp, which every year we can take that with a grain of salt, but it seems like people who are outside of Philadelphia are saying it looks different. He seems to be really kind of getting it. Everything's kind of clicking. So I think it could be a big year with
Yeah.
Brown, Devontae Smith, another year better. He's put on 30 pounds, which he probably needed to do. He was a very skinny guy. I think Dallas
Yeah.
Goedert is a very good tight end that kind of has been overshadowed by Zach Ertz for a long time. We'll probably see
Agree.
that.
Love offensive line. They got a hell of an offense, like maybe the best in the league. Them, the Saints, Tampa's dealing with injuries. They got an incredible offensive line. We clowned on Sirianni last year because he was kind of being a dope, like prior to his debut as a coach. But the way that they transitioned into a run first team and end up winning double digit games last year, pretty impressive. Did not seem overwhelmed at all. I think they dominate this division. I don't think it's that close. I think the rosters are not that close. I'll take the Eagles for sure over Dallas, and then I don't see maybe Dable will pull something off, but I just don't think they have the players, the personnel in New York to make anything happen. We'll see.
The
I'll
Giants
take the
are
Eagles.
firmly in number one overall pick territory for me. I think that offense is an absolute dumpster fire. Daniel Jones, the bottom five quarterback. They paid all that money to Kenny Galladay, a receiver who is an absolute shell of himself.
A
They're
tight end out there
basically,
can't
yeah,
move.
they're basically relying on Kadarius Toney and like Wandale Robinson and
Like
Sterling Shepard as their pass
slot receivers,
catchers.
slot receiver.
Like
They've got like 4 slot receivers.
like number 3 speed guys that like can kind of, they're like glorified punt returners. Basically, it's kind of disrespectful to. I think Kadarius Toney is really good, but that's his game. He's a catch the ball short, take it 60 yards type of guy.
Yeah.
Running back,
Agreed.
we'll see Saquon. Talent wise, there's no denying Saquon. It's can he put a whole season together? And behind this offensive line, probably he can't, if I had to guess.
No,
And as
probably
much
not.
as they'll have to rely on him if they want to be competitive, how many touches he'll get, he probably won't be able
Yeah.
to, unfortunately. And then Washington, like is weird to me because last year you and me both were so bullish that they were going to be good. They
Defense, yeah, looks
weren't.
so good. The
And
front seven looks
then
so good.
this year they effectively bring back the exact same team, and
It's
we
true.
think entirely
With
differently. I
with
think
a
they
better
still
quarterback
have,
in theory.
yeah, yeah, in theory. They have still top 5 defensive line in the NFL. Linebackers and safety, I think we realized quickly, like, oh, all those guys are shitty though. They've got a
Yeah.
good D line, and everyone behind them is horrible.
They just didn't have time to there was just too many open receivers. The line didn't have time to get home. They just would drop back
Hmm.
and there'd be open receivers and they would throw it to them. And you're like, well, shit, I can't sack someone in a second and a half. I need some help
Yep.
here, guys. Yeah, the secondary was not good.
And it doesn't look like that's been fixed at all. So I think they're probably right back in that 6-7 win range, if I had to guess. I
Yeah,
think
I would
they're
agree.
they're drastically better to the Giants to me.
Probably.
So
Easy Eagles for me. We
yeah,
can move on.
NFC South. I'll start. I think that Tampa Bay is getting a little under talked about. They're the second best odds to win the Super Bowl, so maybe they're not getting under talked about. But of all the teams that I hear getting buzz as a superstar loaded team, this team has the best defense in the NFL. I don't think it's very close.
It's so sweet. It's really good.
Best secondary, arguably best linebacker unit, top 5 defensive line. They're top 5 in all 3 areas of defense. They've got
Easy.
the best quarterback of all time who led the league in passing yards, passing touchdowns. And we have seen time and time again off the field drama, in locker room drama. It does not matter. He will just go out there and Arnold Schwarzenegger fucking rip your arms off your shoulders and beat you to death. Leonard Fournette, great running back. Godwin's back. We'll see how he looks. If he's close to himself, he's just the perfect Tom Brady wide receiver. Mike Evans somehow has become like the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL. But the question is the offensive line. They have a lot of
That's it.
injuries up the middle in the offensive line. That's the swing factor. That's what everyone wants to talk about. Justifiably so.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. Huge concern on the offensive line. Brady is literally in his mid 40s, can't move an inch. And if you can get pressure up the middle, he already lost his center. It's big trouble. So he's very good at getting the ball out, not taking hits, and changing the offense to fit what the talent around him. So I think they'll be fine. That is the concern. That's my only concern. Honestly, that's it. That is the defense is stacked. It's the best in the league. The offensive line is the concern, and that's it.
Yep.
I think they're rightfully so. Like minus 300 to win this division. That's who I'm taking. Is there any way the Saints can win this? Maybe another injury on the offensive line and it falls apart for Tampa. I just can't see the defense. Like it's going to be there.
Speaking of teams that I think are going to have top 5 defenses, though, the Saints defense should be
Very good.
something scary. Again, on all 3 levels, very, very good players. Lattimore at corner, Davis at linebacker, Cam Jordan on the D line. A lot of dudes on that side. A lot of them like me. Like they have the type of defense where all the guys just seem like motherfuckers.
Oh, Demario
Mean,
Davis, what a
scary
sick
guys.
bastard that guy is.
Cam Jordan's kind of that
What a
way.
player.
Lattimore is like that classic corner that's only like 5'10", but just like shit talks Mike Evans and thinks he can beat his
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
I really like the moxie there. The big swing factor is Jameis.
And I've
Everyone
always been
loves
a fan.
Jameis.
I've always been a fan. I have. Is
The
he a
arm
winner?
talent.
I don't think so.
The arm talent is there. The same thing with Jalen Hurts. The same thing with so many of these quarterbacks. If he just makes better decisions, he'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Newsflash, it's hard. It's really hard. It's hard to do.
He plays real football like I play Madden. He wants the 50-yard bomb every single time. Even if it's not there, he's going to throw it anyway. If he can just take the check down, throw it to Alvin Kamara, let him do all the work. I really like the Saints this year. Can they be better than Tampa Bay? If Tom Brady's on his back all year and this O-line is this bad, the Saints could absolutely win this division.
I don't think the Panthers or the Falcons have the personnel to do it. I do like a lot of the pieces the Panthers have. The Falcons could be picking first next year. They're going to be really bad, I think. The Panthers are probably going to fire their coach and also pick in the top 10. So I don't think either of those teams have the personnel or the great quarterback to get them over the hump. But yeah, I could see the Saints. I will still take Tampa, but I think the Saints do make the playoffs, though.
Okay. I really like Carolina this year. I don't think they have a chance to win this division, though. Really like is strong, I guess. I like them more than Vegas and the public seems to like them. NFC North, for me, I like Minnesota. I think they're good, but it's Green Bay. Has to be Green Bay. How many teams are we going to say have a top 5 defense in the NFL? Because they also.
Well, there's 3 of them right here. It's
I think you're right.
Green Bay. Yeah, their defense is incredible. Their big question is they're going to get Bakhtiari back. They're going to get Jenkins back. I think he plays left guard. Their big question is the talent around Aaron Rodgers on the offensive side of the ball. They have a couple running backs that are pretty good, a couple rookie receivers. One has looked good in camp. One has been injured. They're going to roll a cast of characters out there. Randall Cobb. It's going to be kind of ugly, but Aaron. I brought this up in another show as well. Aaron Rodgers seems to get off on just making these guys stars, these nobody stars. Like that's his whole deal, and he makes it work. So that's the big concern. I do think the Vikings have a chance to win this division, but I love the defense. I love the quarterback. The best defense, the best quarterback by a wide margin, and I think LaFleur is a pretty good coach. First-time coach in Minnesota. I think the offense will be pretty good. It's hard not to take the Packers. I think you have to take Green Bay.
Echo everything you said. I think I'm going to be first on the train. People the last few years have gotten off. Don't pay running back. Don't get running back. Don't pay receiver. We're not paying up for receiver. We can put anyone in there. Fuck it. If Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback and you know the routes and run them reasonably well, you got 7 out of 10 hands. We're good. I'll get it to you. I'm Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers can throw people open. Certain other quarterbacks can't throw it to guys when they are open. So and it's not like people are picking receivers over quarterbacks, but we've said this and we talked about, I don't remember if this was on the podcast or not. All these teams that make blockbuster moves to trade for a receiver, it doesn't lead to winning games.
No, it does not appear that paying a receiver $20 million plus a year is good for business. The cap just hamstrings you so bad in positions that are really important. We talked about it before. The way football is played at the college level, at the high school level, the systems, the offense that are run, there's just so many good receivers. The receivers that go in the second, third, and fourth round now could have been talented enough to play at better colleges 10 years ago, to get drafted in the first round 10 years ago. The talent pool is just so deep at receiver, and you can find guys you can pay nothing. Romeo Dubs from Nevada that you can take in the third or fourth round that are super talented, that are studs that Aaron Rodgers can work with. You can pay him $900K as his rookie year and stack your defense, pay Rodgers $50 million a year, get an offensive line. So maybe you're onto something. Tom Brady, don't pay receivers.
Tom Brady in New England, outside of the 3 years of Randy Moss, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker,
white slot receivers.
They got Gronk in the third round, and they lucked out there. Well, I guess they made a great pick, and he turned into the best tight end to ever live. Danny Amendola. Like, you can scheme guys open. Good quarterbacks can scheme guys open and throw guys open. There's so much zone
Yeah.
played, and the way that defenders can't really cover you the way they used to. Everyone can get, I mean, not everyone can get open. That's not to say that there aren't tiers and better receivers and worse receivers. Do you need a number one Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams type guy to win the Super Bowl? I don't know. Obviously, having Cooper Kupp last year helped the Rams
It would
do
help.
that. So
It would help. But now you got to pay him, and you just can't pay everyone. You lose people. The cap. It's the best sport in the world because the parity is unmatched. You just can't keep everyone. The turnover, it just ruins teams. And when you pay guys, pay receivers, you're gonna hurt. You're gonna be hurting. So we'll see if the Raiders, we'll see if the Dolphins, if it pays off. Those are the two teams that made the big moves for receivers. They're desperate for offensive help. I get it, but I don't think it's gonna work.
NFC West. This is the division of your Los Angeles Rams. How do you see it shaking out?
In my obviously I want the Rams to win. I'll be pulling them for the win. In my heart, I think the 49ers are a better team and a better roster. It will see on Trey Lance. If Trey Lance is above average to good, I think the NFC could be in big trouble. I think the 49ers could be very dangerous. I really like them. I think the roster's better. And I would probably there's a big question mark at quarterback, obviously. Hasn't played since North Dakota State, really played a couple games in the NFL, played like a spring showcase. Huge question mark. I think their roster is better, though. I really do.
I think
It's unfortunate.
I do think people are sleeping on the Rams roster. I think the Rams roster is still very good. If we're going like superstar players, San Francisco may have the most of any team in the NFL of like pure star guys. They've got a lot of them. The Jimmy Garoppolo signing for San Francisco kind of has my antennas up as a hedge or an insurance policy. I think it's odd that they brought him back. What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty obvious that no one was going to trade for him, and just because of the money they would have to bring in, it just didn't make a lot of sense with the timing, with the teams that needed quarterbacks. Was it really an upgrade? I just didn't think it made sense for the money he was making for any teams to go get him. So at that point, if you're Jimmy Garoppolo, you're like, well, I'm gonna get cut, or I could restructure and stay here where I'm familiar, where if an opportunity did come up, I would know the system, I would be familiar with all my teammates, and I would be able to plug and play. It does. I get what you're saying, but they committed to him so early. I think they're all in on him. But I mean, he could suck. He could be bad. That is on the table, and I think that is an insurance policy on that. But I think they're going to stick with him for the long haul. I just don't think Garoppolo had many options. Like didn't make sense. He's not a good enough upgrade for anyone to take on. And then if he gets cut, he's going to sign as a backup somewhere else. So you might as well just stay on and be a backup in San Fran. That's the way I took it. He restructured because of that.
I do think I agree with you, though. I am going to pick San Francisco. LA's a safer bet. San Francisco is the variance. But if Trey Lance hits anything above 70% of his potential, this team is going to be very tough to deal with.
Rocket fuel. Yeah. They went to the NFC title game last year. They beat Dallas on the road. They beat Green Bay on the road. The roster is awesome. They have an awesome Kyle Shanahan, I think, is one of the best coaches in the league, one of the smartest offensive minds in the league. I think he'll be able to use Trey Lance and get the most out of him. So I agree. I would take, unfortunately, the 49ers. I think they're better. I think the Rams still make the playoffs. I don't think the NFC is that great. I think they'll still make it, but I'll take San Francisco.
The stuff he's going to be able to do with Trey Lance as a runner has me salivating to watch this team.
Yeah.
If you'll remember, he was the coordinator RG3's rookie year when he set the fucking world on fire. I could see some similar stuff happening with Trey Lance here. That was like the beginning of the read option movement. That was Kaepernick and Cam and RG3 were all sort of coming in at the same time, people are like, oh, I guess running quarterbacks, maybe this isn't a super unsustainable way to run your offense. Granted, you have that type of athlete. And with Bosa, they've got the best linebackers in the NFL. Fred Warner is an absolute sick fuck.
Yeah,
I
them or
think,
Tampa are 1-2. I think they're really really
yeah,
good.
I would imagine any PFF or whatever ranking you want, those are going to be the two top teams. I do think their secondary is a little bit lacking. If I had to poke a hole, I think maybe the Rams have a better secondary even. It's probably pretty close. The way that with this front seven and how well they're going to be able to run the ball, that this team will just be able to grind you into dust makes it hard not to pick them. They play a style that if Trey Lance can just not turn the ball over, he doesn't have to be a star for them to win games. We saw that with Jimmy. So I like San Fran also.
All right. NFC, who do you have? Do you want to do Super Bowl or how do you want to?
Okay, we can do that. Well, no,
Yeah.
we'll just do the Super Bowl at the end. Let's do AFC. AFC
Okay.
East. It's the Bills. I can't without putting on my Stephen A. Smith hot take hat, not pick the Bills to win the AFC East.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. Obviously, the Jets are not close. They're a year away from being a year away. The Dolphins made a bunch of flashy moves. I don't hate some of their secondary pieces, but I just don't think they're that close either. Obvious lack of talent at quarterback compared to the Bills. I mean, the only argument for the Patriots is Bill Belichick. Like, I can't even Mac Jones is pretty average. They've got some Judon's really good. They've got some okay players on that side of the ball. The receivers are still bad. They got a couple decent running backs. The line is all right. They're just not close on either side of the ball to the Bills. So I don't think there's a need to spend a lot of time on it. It's the Bills division for the foreseeable future, I would say.
Correct. Remind me, did New England play the Bills in the playoffs last year?
Yes.
But the Bills also played Pittsburgh. How did that work? Did Pittsburgh win their division last year? Didn't the Bills also play? Or no, Kansas City played Pittsburgh?
Kansas.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Kansas
that's what
City
I'm thinking
played.
of.
The Kansas City played Pittsburgh.
So I'm right. The Bills, we saw when those teams match up, there wasn't 75-mile-an-hour wins. They beat them to a bloody pulp in that game. It was not close at any point in time. The Patriots are a team, much like this players that Belichick loves, that you have to maximize the potential of each guy on their roster for them to win 11 games. They just don't have dudes, so I can't get behind that. The Dolphins, I have no idea what to make of the Dolphins. It's
Me either.
on paper a very good team. It seems like Tua is getting good reports that the arm strength is getting better. He's making better decisions. Was it year 3 for Tua? Year 4?
This is year 3. Same class as Burrow and Herbert.
Year 3. I think the fact that those two guys were in his class kind of hurts him from a judgment standpoint. It's pretty normal to not be a Super Bowl caliber quarterback in your third year in the NFL.
Crazy. It's crazy
those
how
two guys are
generational. It's crazy how immediate people want impact on. If you're not changing the course of your franchise in a couple of years, you're no good. And I'm probably as bad as anyone with that, but yeah, it is optically wise. He went second of the 3. Not a great class. It's like Trubisky in a way. Not a great class to. Although Trubisky, that's looking better. Watson is. Who would you rather have?
Yeah, that'd be a fun time travel to do these GMs. Oh, you got to do it over again. Who are you going to take?
Knowing everything you know, Deshaun Watson or Trubisky, everything. What do you think? Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't help that he's in the same draft within 6 picks of a guy that's one of the favorites for MVP and a guy that just went to the Super Bowl last year. Not great.
Yeah, exactly. If you flip that and by year 3, Zach Wilson is as good as Tua is now, I think people will be like, "Oh, that's pretty good. That's sick. That's great. We did
Yeah.
well." Because this quarterback class's rookies were shit.
Yeah, pretty mid.
Well, let's go to the division of the number 1 overall pick last year, Trevor Lawrence. Will move on to the AFC South. How do you see this shaking out? Arguably
Um,
the worst division in football.
I don't know if it's an argument.
Yeah, I don't think it is either.
I kind of like I think Peterson was a good hire. I think Trevor Lawrence needed someone with an offensive mind that could help him develop. I mean, Davis Mills probably not the guy. Obviously, the roster isn't there, but uncertainty there at quarterback. I don't think they play into it. Although I did have a hot take that the Jags make a huge jump. That's not realistic. I don't think. Um, I think I'm more up in the air with what I think about the Titans than maybe any team in the league. I think there's a chance that they're pretty bad. I think it could go sour with Tannehill. I don't. They lose AJ Brown and bring in Traylon Burks, who's had a really tough camp, talking about being overweight, dealing with injuries. Henry approaching 30 and getting paid with the workload he's had. I think there's a path that it goes really, really bad. I think Vrabel's a good coach. But I don't love the Titans this year. So I guess by default, I think Matt Ryan's pretty washed, but I think by default the Colts are the answer here. What are you feeling on the South?
I too am rocking with the Colts. I believe. Uh, don't love Tennessee either. I think if you look from a roster construction standpoint, it's like Indianapolis is like if you took all of Tennessee's players and made them 4 years younger. That's kind of what, except for quarterback, that's kind of what Indy's got going on. They've got the stud running back who's younger. They've got the best, one of the better O lines in the league. Defense, great linebackers, good enough at the other units. Going to be a competitive football team that runs the ball really well. You and I are both pretty high that Michael Pittman is going to have a breakout year at receiver for the Colts.
Yeah.
I think they have the most talented roster by maybe a significant margin in this division.
Yeah, I'm worried that there's a big turning point. One of my hot takes on our previous show was that Malik Willis sees time and not due to a Tannehill injury. I just the way they were in that game, that playoff game last year against the Bengals, and Tannehill threw them out of it. It was really tough.
Hapless. They
You
sacked Burrow 7 times and they couldn't win the game.
I don't know. I mean, he seems very, very well liked and respected in the locker room from everything you see, but just you gotta think that they know, especially after just seeing it unfold right in front of them, the effort they put out against Cincinnati and still losing. Do they give up on him in the lot? Like he's not the guy. He's not the guy. He's a fine, okay quarterback. You're not winning a Super Bowl with him. Bad vibes in Tennessee. They're a Derrick Henry injury away from being like a bottom 8 offense, and I mean they're going to be pretty bad. Like they're old Robert Woods and Traylon. I don't know. I think there's a lot of uncertainty. I think it could go bad.
Yeah, I think it could. They have a very good infrastructure, good culture, which
It's true.
helps.
It's true.
It's not. It's the front office and the message is clear, which helps with these things. I don't know that it gets you a lot of wins in the NFL though. Keeps you from
Yeah.
being terrible. I don't think it makes you great though.
Yeah.
Speaking of good culture, AFC North got a few big time culture teams in the AFC North. I like Baltimore.
I do too. I don't know if they're the favorite or around co-favorite. It's not that I've always been not a hater of Joe Burrow, but I've just been like, let's relax on what he's actually accomplishing. Um, he did they did go to the Super Bowl, but just like it wasn't like he carried him there. The stats were okay. I don't think he's an incredible quarterback. He's a winner. He's a guy that's going to have the entire roster fight for him and play for him and have his back. I think that's very important. Probably something that I underrate. But yeah, I think I'm a little lower on the Bengals than most. And the injury luck that the Ravens had last year, especially before the season even started, was awful. The Browns don't have a quarterback. The Steelers have two, so they don't have a quarterback. I agree. On the Ravens.
I almost want to change my pick to Cincy. I think the shoring up in theory of the O-line for Cincy is huge. That was really the only deficiency they had. The defense is good, not great.
Solid.
They've got good players, not like elite as a whole, I would say. Every skill position is through the roof elite talent, which you like to
They could
see.
use tight end isn't awesome, but it's
Yeah,
serviceable.
that's
It's
true.
fine. It's fine.
That's true. You're right there. Uh, Best receiving core in the league? Question mark.
Miami's pretty good.
I think I would rather have the Bengals.
If you include Oakland or Jesus Christ, Las Vegas is pretty good.
Yeah, Vegas is strong.
An argument for sure. I mean,
Certainly in the short list.
yeah, huge fan.
I'm a huge Joe Burrow guy. We kind of hashed this out. I think he is elite with the game on the line, like ice in his veins type of shit. There's no moment too big for him. There's no time where he doesn't seem to have complete control, poise, and confidence, which is, I would argue, after a strong arm, the most important thing a quarterback can have. And it is not that like he doesn't have a good arm. He has a good arm. Much like the Tua thing, when we're comparing him to Justin Herbert, we're like, oh, he's got a pea shooter because Justin Herbert has an absolute fucking bazooka. So it's a little different.
True.
I think he has an above average NFL arm and is one of the 5 most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. I think he has elite like timing, ball placement, rarely makes bad decisions, does all the stuff that I want my quarterback to do.
Yeah. No,
Fuck it, I'm switching my pick to Cincinnati.
Okay. He's a dog. I mean, yeah, he got that dog in him, as some would say. He's a winner. He is a winner for sure. I do you care about contract stuff because Lamar Jackson is playing for a contract. They've been talking about it, and once the season starts, he said we're done with it. We're gonna move on and wait till the offseason. He is playing for a contract, and that contract would be $400 million. So
It's going to be a lot. I think Lamar Jackson is one of the most competitive quarterbacks in the NFL, regardless of the circumstances or the stakes. You're getting the same Lamar Jackson, I think, which is good Lamar Jackson. Am I right in saying Baltimore is a new offensive coordinator this year, or am I making that up? Or maybe a new defensive coordinator?
I don't know.
One of the two. I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, they similar to San Francisco, elite defense, should be incredibly effective running the ball, getting all those offensive linemen back this year that they did not have last year, getting all their running backs back this year that they did not have last year, should make a colossal difference. They lose Hollywood Brown. He
Don't
is not
care.
a good fit for their offense at all. So
No.
not worried about that. He's a fine player. I wouldn't call him a great player. I do like Baltimore. I think they're going to win a lot of games. I'd be very surprised if they don't make the playoffs this year. But I've talked myself into the Bengals through this discussion.
Understandable. Defending
Steelers going to be terrible.
They're just never terrible. I think they'll be fine. I thought Kenny Pickett looked pretty okay in the preseason games. Early in camp, I remember saying there were really bad reports where he looked kind of ugly, but he looked fine. Trubisky's going to start. I think it's a steady team. I don't think there's much upside because of the quarterback, but they have a lot of good units. Maybe one of the favorites for defensive player of the year. A lot of good players on defense. Pretty good receiving core. Najee Harris is really talented. I just think the quarterback will hold them back from really having any like actual upside. It feels like a 500-ish team to me.
Okay. We didn't talk about the Browns at all. I guess they're
just going to suck. They're going to be. I mean, Brissett is just not good enough. He's an okay quarterback. He's not going to go win you games. I just can't see. They have no like weapons. They signed Amari Cooper. guess they're just going to try to run the ball and play defense and go that route. Stefanski seems like an okay coach. I don't know. I just Brissett, we've seen it. He's not it. We know that.
I am shocked. Mini tangent, mini rant here.
Okay.
There's a big movement in sports and podcasting and media that all the voices are becoming like former players or current players. Big beef that I have with a lot of these guys is they will never say another player is bad. And I understand it. I get it. You might have to see these people in public, but like part of the job is we're deciding who's good and who's not. That's the entire kind of deal with what we're talking about here. So whenever I see guys that are talking about Jacoby Brissett and they're like, I don't know. I think Jacoby's fine. I think they're going to be good and they're going to be competitive. No, they're not. Jacoby Brissett is not a starting NFL quarterback. We have seen nothing at any point in his career that would suggest that he
No.
is. Jacoby
He's
Brissett can be the best guy. It seems like he's good friends with a lot of people and they think he's a great guy. He's not a good starting NFL quarterback.
No. He is exactly what you want in a backup quarterback. He seems like a great locker room guy, well liked. He's a steady hand that can come in an emergency in the mid game. He could start for a month or a spot start for a game. He's not a guy that you want leading the charge on a contending team. He's just not that guy. He's a top 5 NFL backup, which is fine. That's a good career. I would sign up for it. He's just not that type of guy that's going to lead a contender to the playoffs and win playoff games. That's not going to happen, which he won't have to. Deshaun Watson will come back. Will he be good when he comes back? It's been like 2 years since. I assume he's just still sick at football. I don't know.
It's just so hard to play football, I'd imagine. There's no good way to practice football without playing football, especially at quarterback. There's so much timing and communication and like mechanic. Like his throwing mechanics can be fine, but the timing I can't imagine is going to be there.
I think it's a mess. I think their entire the distraction of the media bullshit and coverage the entire year when he comes back, they basically set him up to come back against Houston on the road. Like it's a circus. It's gonna be bad. I don't think that the roster is good enough to overcome all that. Out on the Browns. Out.
Okay, one more division, AFC West, the most talked about, the most hyped up division in football, the SEC of the NFL, people are saying. What do you got here?
I don't know if it was one of the big talking heads, if it was Simmons or someone. Someone was big in on the offensive line improvements for the Chiefs and how good they're going to be. I'm worried. I'm still worried. Losing Tyreek Hill, okay, fine. In a kind of a Rodgers way, Mahomes will make it happen. They brought in Sky Moore. They still have one of the best tight ends in the league. The offensive line got better. That was a big concern. I guess we just assume the offense is good. On the other side of the ball, they lose one of the best safeties in the league, probably the leader of their defense. They still have a couple high-paid defensive linemen who will get to the quarterback, disrupt. I just don't think this roster is that good. I just don't. I guess we're just relying on Mahomes to be the best player in the league. So I'm more out on the Chiefs than most. I don't know. Honestly, don't know what to do with Oakland. What are your thoughts on Oakland? Right now, I'm leaning Chargers. God damn it! God damn it! Right now, I'm leaning San Diego. I'm leaning L.A. Chargers right now. But what are your thoughts on Las Vegas?
I think their defense is not very good. I think Crosby and Chandler Jones are good, and literally every other player on their defense is not very good. I personally fall into the pit of like, oh, they have 2 really good pass rushers. They have a good defense. No, the rest of their defense, not very good. Carr, good quarterback, not elite quarterback. Devontae Adams, best receiver in the NFL. We've heard what I've said about having the best receiver in the NFL. It's great. It's a luxury, not a necessity. The O-line is fine. They, to me, are no better than 3rd in this division. I like Denver better than Vegas, I think.
I'll hear that. That's I'm okay with that.
I think Denver has a better defense.
Russ is better.
Better quarterback. They have a better offensive line. I don't think the receivers is a huge advantage. I mean, it is. I wouldn't say it's huge. I do like all of Denver's pass catchers. They're just a little younger and more unproven.
Yeah. I think I'm in the camp of Denver over Oakland. God damn it. Las Vegas as well. I can't stop. I just moved back to Oakland. What are we doing? Play in the baseball stadium. Get over yourself. I think I'm in with Denver as well. Better quarterback. I think, right? Russ is better still, right?
We'll see. We don't know
He
yet.
better be. He just signed 8 years in Denver, so they better hope he is. Sneaky, we'll get to some individual awards. Sneaky, one of the best corners in the league. Patrick Surtain could have a big coming out party this year. Really like him. He drafted really high. Really, really good. Awesome reports out of camp.
I wanted
Dude's
to
a
bring that up
stud.
too. I think it is very likely within 2 years he's the best cornerback in the NFL. I really
Yeah.
think that he's got the build. I mean, he's like Jalen Ramsey in terms of like his build, his skill set.
Yeah,
He's a
he's really good.
monster.
Yeah.
Absolute monster.
Yeah. I think there's a big coming out party for him this year. Yeah, I think they're really good. Can they be the Chargers just similar to Cincinnati in that quarterback draft class? They have such a luxury of the very underpaid elite quarterback. They've stacked the deck. The cupboard is full, and they're going for it. It'd be hard for me to not pick them. I'm pretty high on them.
If they didn't wear Chargers jerseys, I would be more in on them because the fucking Chargers, if there's one franchise that is going to find a way to somehow squander this, it is that franchise. The amount of great on paper Los Angeles / San Diego Chargers teams there have been in my lifetime that have done squat shit, all of them.
Similar to the Lions on Hard Knocks. We just got to figure out how to stop beating ourselves. We got to learn how to win.
Hey, when the ball's in the 18-yard line, let's not go for it. Let's kick the goddamn ball, Brandon.
Yeah, I like being aggressive, but come on, down and distance. What are we doing here? God, am I gonna fool me once? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, fool me 35 times, shame on me. I'll pick the Chargers. I'll take the Chargers.
God, we're the exact same on all these picks except for one. Do I pick someone else just
Pick Denver
out of spite? No, because I think the Chargers are that good. And the other thing is, they could very well win the division, be the number 1 seed, and then choke like a fucking dog in the playoffs. That's probably the likely outcome in this scenario.
Sure.
I mean, they are stacked enough; they can afford 3 or 4 injuries to key guys and still be an absolute gangbusters club.
Really good.
Khalil
good
Mack,
ball club.
Joey Bosa, fucking Derwin James,
J.C. Jackson.
Who's the other corner they have? Don't they have another good corner?
They do. The guy from not Patrick Queen. The other guy they have a good linebacker. You know, they signed the guy from the Rams, Sebastian Joseph Day, really good run stopper. They're good. They're really good. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, good offensive line. Justin Herbert, second favorite for MVP. Really good. Let's see. Let's jump back to the NFC.
Oh, Asante Samuel Jr. There you go.
There you go. Jump back to the NFC.
My NFC pick to take her all the way and wind up in the Super Bowl. Where is it in my notes? It is. You go ahead. My notes are all fucked up here.
In my head.
Oh, here it is.
I have a choice. In my heart, I want to pick the Eagles. I really do.
Say it with your chest, dog.
I think they have a chance to have home field because the division stinks. That's in my heart. But in my head, I don't know if I can do that. All right, I'm going to go. Fuck it. I'm going to go with someone that's not even a favorite in their division. The San Francisco 49ers. NFC
Niners. Champion. All right. Wes likes the Niners.
He do.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I went with the Bucks last year. I'm gonna go with the Bucks again.
Okay.
The O-line is scary. O-line is a very important part of the game. I'm not discrediting that. Tom Brady's the best quarterback of all time. They've got the best, second best, or third best defense in the NFL. It's going to be hard to beat this team. They are going to grind you into dust. They're going to control the football. They're going to make your life a living hell. I like the Bucks.
Understandable. Rightfully so. Defense should be really nasty. Best quarterback of all time. Not a hard leap to get there. AFC, I'm also between two teams. I'm between the Chargers, which we've just discussed in depth of how much they're a choking loser dog, and the Bills. I think the Bills are good, and they're a rightful favorite. I'm between the Chargers and the Bills. I could be fun and pick the Chargers, or I can be chalky and pick the Bills. Man, think about the ratings. Chargers, Eagles. Are you kidding me? I'll go a little more
LA's
chalk on
team.
this side. I'll go a little more chalk on this side. I'll go Bills, Eagles.
I'm leaning the Bills also. I hate to be a chalk donkey. We'll get to it after this. A few teams that are maybe like last year's Cincinnati type of candidates to make a dark horse run. Yeah, I got to go to the Bills too. I kind of talk shit about them off the top, but Bills,
Eagles.
best roster in the AFC.
You're going Bills, Bucks. Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, let's talk dark horse. Who's someone that could, for you, we could do maybe one or two per conference, maybe?
Okay, here's a dark horse to make the playoffs and get thrashed immediately. Carolina Panthers.
You don't have to sell me on it. I was big on the Panthers last year. They have the best quarterback they've had in a while since Prime Cam, I would say, right?
Baker is, I think we are underselling how much better Baker Mayfield is than Sam Darnold. I think after last year, there's been a public opinion shift that has gone a little too far on Baker. He's not incredible, but he is certainly a very good NFL quarterback.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think we've discussed the defensive pieces they've had. They've been picking in the top 10 for all of recent memory. Brian Burns is awesome. McCaffrey. But what if he stays healthy? DJ Moore. We like him a lot. So they have some, I get it. They could, get in and get absolutely pounded by Tampa in the first round or something.
I do worry that the coach they got over there has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
It's possible.
That's the downside. That's the scary part.
Not just because they're on Hard Knocks. Lions. I'd like to bring up the Lions. They're fine. Aiden Hutchinson could be really good. That's possible. And he has like 15 sacks, and it changes that defense. Okuda getting healthy. He was like the number 2 pick. They've had some high picks, the Lions. Goff can, be a steady hand around that really good offense, really good offensive line. To get him to like 9 or 10 wins. Maybe. I could see the Lions making a jump. Maybe.
I think I've kind of soured on the Lions. I think they're going to fucking suck again. I hate to break it to Detroit. I think that defense is going to be really bad.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think they got a lot of spots with a lot of bad players on that defense. And the offense is like Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown still, and DeAndre Swift. Amon-Ra St. Brown is fine. DeAndre Swift is fine. Not elite by any means. Do they have who is one elite player on the Detroit Lions? They don't have one.
Elite player.
Penei Sewell, maybe on the
they've got
line.
They got a really good offensive line. Aiden Hutchinson is unproven, but he seems.
I think Aiden Hutchinson will be a very, very good NFL player. I don't see him having like a TJ Watt style impact on the game, though. Very good player, but not like blow up, wreck the game type of player. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but we'll see.
We didn't talk At all. We mostly talked about Rams, 49ers. We talk at all about the Cardinals. Are you mostly out on them?
Out, I think.
Yeah, I think they could be
Bad.
bad. Yeah.
Bad defense. Seems like everything is an absolute circus over there, from the front office to the coaching staff to the
That
team.
contract shit in the offseason was like, what are we doing?
One of the strangest things I've ever seen in professional sports. Kyler
Unbelievable.
will probably get 6 good weeks. We'll say, is Kyler the MVP? And he'll sputter out at the end of the season.
Yeah.
We've seen it time and time again. Hopkins being out the first 6 weeks is important. They do not have a lot of guys to fill that target share that I think are anywhere close to as good of
Dude,
a player as he
Hollywood? Are
is.
you kidding me? Yeah,
Pass.
I think they're in trouble too.
Yeah.
Other than the Lions, I don't really. I mean, no one else would be like a big leap. We did like the roster of Washington. Maybe they make
Here's
something
mine.
happen.
My team on the NFC that I think
You already
has a
said
good
yours,
enough
I thought.
team to. Well, no, I didn't. My team that I think is good enough to actually win some playoff games.
Oh, okay.
Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Here's
I thought we were talking just make the playoffs. Yeah. Kirk Cousins isn't as bad as his political takes.
I mean, they don't have a lot of weaknesses. Really good.
Decent
I mean, pretty good defense, above average quarterback to above average to good, somewhere in there. What if I whip this insane take at you? We get a 2016 Falcons Matt Ryan MVP season out of Kirk Cousins this year. What say you?
I didn't recoil. I think the offense that Cooper Kupp just had 2,000, almost 2,000 yards in comes over. Justin Jefferson is my offensive player of the year. Kirk Cousins could throw for 5,000 yards. It's more spread out. They're going to use Dalvin Cook as a pass catcher. I like their offense a lot. I think O'Connell is a good coach. Shout out the LA Rams and the coaching tree savant, the coaching savant, I should say. It is Sean McVay.
All right. AFC, I have teams underperforming more so than I have teams that I think will exceed expectations. Underperforming teams. We talked about it. I have Tennessee. And then I have the Cowboys and the Cardinals as underperformers in the NFC. We talked about both
I'm
those
out.
teams
Yep, I'm out on the
at
Cowboys.
length. Tennessee also, we talked about it for a while. We don't have to rehash that.
The same questions you could say in a negative way for the Dolphins could just work out. Tua takes a good step and they're pretty good. I don't think they win the division, but they could win 10 or 11 games and win a playoff game if the things that we question do work out. So I think they can make a leap, kind of like Cincinnati. But Cincinnati is so unique, and it was just like it was out of nowhere. I mean, they were like the third longest odds to win the World Series Super Bowl. Like the Dolphins have a little hype. Like you can make the connection there. They have the moves in the offseason, the new coach, the third-year quarterback. I mean, you can make the leap there. So it's not like out of nowhere, but the Dolphins are a team with questions that could make something happen, I guess. Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh? Does that work?
They just, I mean, like you said, they never have a losing season. Could they make the playoffs? Yes. Is it even that much of a stretch if we predict them to make the playoffs? Probably not.
They made the playoffs last year with just an abomination at quarterback.
The difference between having a Cincinnati last year, there's none of these teams with long odds that have an elite quarterback. They had that.
Yeah.
None of these teams with long odds, I think, have the chance of having an elite quarterback. Most of these teams have like 7th-year quarterbacks that we just know who they are, or young quarterbacks that I don't see it with. Well, here's the one, I guess, and the roster is just not even close to what Cincinnati's would be Jacksonville.
Yeah, they're the one. Trevor Lawrence was Peyton Manning, was Andrew Luck, was the prince that was promised. It's the pedigree's down in there somewhere. They got the arm talent. Maybe Peterson pulls it out. They just don't have the dudes. They don't have the players, I don't think. But we'll see.
We will see. Okay. Picks for this week. Your favorite, your best favorite pick, your best dog pick, your best total pick. I had a rough time. These lines stink. I hate the board.
You start. You start.
My favorite?
I
Uh,
got one. I can start.
Here's my favorite, just
Ah,
because the line has moved so much one way. This team went from an underdog to start the week to a favorite as it stands currently. The Carolina Panthers
I was
at
going to
the
say.
Cleveland Browns.
No, Carolina's at home. That's
Oh,
what I was going to say.
yeah, yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. We just talked about how Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback they've had since Cam Newton. Good Cam Newton. Jacoby Brissett on the road. I agree with you. I can try to find another one, though, if you would like to go with your dog.
No, I mean, pick whatever you want to pick. We're going to keep track of the whole season, so we're not going to have the same picks every single pick the entire year. So go off. That's fine. Carolina for both of us.
I'm going
I
to, no,
like it. And also,
I'll pivot. I'll pivot.
oh, you're going to pick something else. Okay.
Picking something else. Baltimore Ravens -7 against the Jets. Joe Flacco, quarterback. They're going to fucking hammer the Jets. Beat them bad. Real
Okay.
bad.
That's fair. I thought about that too. 7 points in any NFL game is always
On the road. Don't care.
scary. Okay, my underdog bet. This makes me want to vomit.
Okay.
Jacksonville
Love it.
Jaguars +2.5 at Washington Commanders.
Let's go. Okay.
I don't know
Let's
how to
see.
explain it. I think Washington fucking sucks. They're not even highly rated, and I think they're overrated. I'll bet that maybe Jacksonville completely turns it around and Trevor Lawrence has seen the light and comes out and has his coming out party week 1.
Fair enough. I just want to scan the board one more time before I pick my dog, just to make sure. My heart will be with the Rams as the dog. That's not who I'm taking. No, I'm
Ooh,
going to
if I
take.
was going to pick my favorite underdog bet of the week, I would say the Rams. But since we're
We're not
recording
including.
this and you're not going to be able to actually bet it, I will not say that. But on the record, that's my favorite underdog bet of the week.
I kind of like the Vikings at home getting a point or two. I think they're
It's
pretty good.
Green Bay.
I love Green Bay, but we saw last year them get Green Bay. Them last year get absolutely housed in week 1. Maybe they sleepwalk in again. I don't know what the deal was with that last year. They were fine. They won a ton of games. A new, almost not a totally new offense, but new receivers. Maybe it takes time to acclimate on the road in division against who we just talked about is a pretty good Vikings team with a new coach. Fired up. Probably the game of the week, or no, maybe Raiders Chargers. I don't know what'll be on Fox, but big afternoon game. I'll go with the Vikings. Don't love it. It's a short line. Don't love it, but I'll go with them.
Okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right.
Ooh, I think
Totals.
there's also an argument as a favorite for Tampa at Dallas on Sunday night. I think Dallas kind of stinks.
Yeah. The other
But
thing with all this talk about the O line for them, I would like to see it a week,
yeah, I
see
agree.
how much of an impact that's going to have. So that's why I stayed away from that. And the Cowboys are not horrible. They got some dudes. Okay, my total. This is more just fun. Got a primetime game. Two teams that seem to put up nothing but instant classics every time they play. Raiders Chargers. Sunday night football, 52.5. I think the
No, they're
Raiders
the.
might give up. So what?
Are they? I thought Tampa was Sunday night. Are they Monday night?
Am I wrong? I don't know. Whatever. Whenever they play, that's my pick.
Either way,
52.5. Vegas Chargers.
I like it. I'm gonna go. What am I gonna go with? Things I'm considering. Giants Titans under. Considering that. I just lost it. Where'd it go? What the hell?
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Yeah, I'll go under for the Giants and the Titans. Two teams want to keep it on the ground. Bad quarterbacks. Giants are implementing a new system. See how that goes. Daniel Jones stinks anyways. I don't know what the total is. I have 43.5. So whatever you're showing, whatever. That works for me. Going to keep it on the ground a bunch. Let's chew that clock, baby. Under Giants and Titans.
Cool. Sounds good, brother. Anything else you want to talk about?
I think I'm good on football. Yeah. Any other
Donovan Mitchell, let's hit on it real quick. What are your
love?
thoughts? The Cleveland Cavaliers were your team before. I assume that's doubled down now. You're all in.
Yeah, I think why not? They bring in they bring in way better Colin Sexton to fill that role that he was. They need a scorer. They need someone that can create their own shots and play off the ball. Of Garland, perfect. They traded Sexton in the deal. They traded a bunch of picks. It's concerning. The only if you're like an actual Cavaliers fan and you're looking big picture, I think all those picks leaving is pretty concerning because Cleveland is not a place that has like long-term sustainable like appeal for star players. So if this goes bad in like 3 or 4 years and those players leave, they're traded away, whatever the case may be, Cleveland could be terrible again, and all those picks are gone. So concerning, but why not go for it when you have Evan Mobley, who is a budding star, Garland, very good point guard, Jared Allen, rim protect. You have a lot of the pieces. Why not? Fuck it, go for it. You're Cleveland. Who cares?
It makes them one of the best teams in the East, probably third best team in the East by my
Contender right away.
estimation. That's one thing they needed at the end of shot clock. When they needed a bucket getter, Darius Garland had to do 100% of it. It was not sustainable for him or really anybody. So to get another guy who is a proven playoff 25 point a game scorer to this team, I love it. The guard defense is worrisome, but
Yeah,
supplementing that with the best rim protection in the NBA helps. That being said, Utah theoretically had that also, and they got killed in the playoffs every
true,
year. We'll see how that works. I
true.
think Allen and Mobley are a little bit better guarding
Their
on the
third starter is
perimeter
also a good defender.
in Okoro. That's true. Like they have good defenders. They were very good defense last year. I would imagine not playing Lauri Markkanen helps their defense. Can't imagine he was a plus defensively last year.
No.
I have very few nitpicks. It's a great deal for the Cavaliers. I think it makes sense for Utah. They get a ton of picks back, blow it up, tank for Victor. Makes a
Yeah,
lot of
I mean,
sense, I think.
yeah, if you're Cleveland, you just worry about the long term. You're talking that's future me's problem. Who gives a shit? We're talking 2029, 2030 and shit. No brainer short term. They lose Sexton, they lose Markkinen. I mean, they still have Levert, they still have Kevin Love. Probably both play off the bench, or maybe you trade one of those guys. I don't know what Levert's get paying, but you could trade them to bring in another asset that fits better. Maybe they have a lot of options. I think it's really good. Do they? I don't know what they do against. I guess Mobley's an interesting matchup for Giannis. I don't know if he has
Yeah.
the frame to hold up against that beef. But
Length can certainly bother him. The
they have
length
some
and the lateral
interesting
quickness can bother
they
him.
have some really interesting problems to pose for Boston and Milwaukee in the East. So I absolutely think they could win the conference. They're people are going to learn how good Evan Mobley is really soon.
It's all depends how high are Darius Garland and Evan Mobley going to ascend. For me, the way I see it, I think they both have limitless potential. Darius Garland's already been an all-star.
Yeah.
Like a perfect modern point guard, elite passer, elite ball handler, shoots it with deep range, blows by people, finishes at the rim. Like nothing, he checks every box. I guess you could wish he was a little taller. Evan Mobley is, I think, already on the path to at least being a generational defensive player with a ton of offensive upside that is a little bit unrealized at this point, but showed some flashes of stuff that for a guy that size makes you drop your jaw a little bit. So I love this Cavs team.
Yep. Yep. Really like it a lot. It's fun to have. I guess they were relevant when LeBron was there. It's fun to have other teams in them. It's fun to have the Cavs back. It's fun to have some other teams in the mix. Like it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of teams that have a fair shot to say they can win the conference. Maybe not. I don't know. Brooklyn's still lurking. If those guys just
Philly,
play, if
Brooklyn.
those, yeah, if Brooklyn, if all those guys play like 65, 70 games this year, there's just no
Pretty
scenario
good.
where they don't win a lot of games.
Atlanta, in theory, made some okay moves. They have some really nice players. The East should be really fun.
Ooh, you want to do some quick NBA backcourt rankings? See where
Yes.
Cleveland stacks up here. Okay, first one, Atlanta or Cleveland. Who'd you rather have?
Atlanta. Atlanta.
Ooh, that surprises me. You're a big Donovan Mitchell guy. You're a big Cavs guy.
I'm a big
DeJounte Murray guy.
DeJounte Murray guy. Huge DeJounte Murray guy. That's close, man. I'm not a huge Trae Young guy. I'm not a. I do like Mitchell. It is close. I said, yeah, I'm gonna stick with Atlanta. That's close though. Love Murray. I love that addition.
Trying to even look here.
Like
Maxey
Trae
and
Young.
Harden.
Trae Young is just better Darius Garland. Yeah. Like the exact same type of player. Elite passer, can fill it up. Small, can't play defense.
Darius Garland's a little bigger, a little better defender, but yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, that's probably the right. Donovan Mitchell is better than DeJounte Murray, though.
Yeah, it's close. It's close. It's so close. Yeah,
Razor
it's a good one.
Harden and Maxey. I'm taking Cleveland.
Yeah, right now I am. Yeah, today for sure.
Who's Toronto's point guard? Van Fleet. Who's their other guard? Gary Trent. Okay, never mind. Doesn't matter. Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine. I'd rather have Cleveland.
Yep.
I'm just trying to even look if there's any. Milwaukee, Middleton, I'd say is a forward, not a guard.
Yeah, it's mostly
out.
like wings and forwards. That there's not a lot of elite backcourts.
Not a lot of elite backcourts.
Top of my head.
John Morant, Desmond Bain. That do anything for you? I think I'd take Cleveland's guy.
No, I'll still take Cleveland. It's closer than you think because you hear Bain, you're like, nah, he's not in that class, but he's pretty damn good.
I think in the context of a 5-person team, Memphis is 2 is a little better. Like those two are both individual players, but like in the context of a team, I think certain teams, Desmond Bain fits better than Donovan Mitchell on some teams, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean the rest. CP3 and Booker. I'd go Phoenix. I got to go Phoenix there still.
Yeah, you got to.
Clay and Steph, just because Steph, you got to. I think Golden State. I think, but Clay's
not what he used to be.
He's not.
I'll still lean with the pedigree and
I
one
could go
of the best players of all time.
Steph and a sack of potatoes, and I'll probably lean that way. So, yeah,
there's fewer elite backcourts than you think.
Josh Giddey and Shea, it's not. But if we're going
2 years
young,
from now, we'll talk about it.
We can talk about it. I could be talked into it. D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards interest you at all?
It does not.
Okay. Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons.
It is not.
No, doesn't interest me much either. Not we think those two in Cleveland don't play a lot of defense, buddy.
Ooh, buddy.
Those Trailblazers teams are going to be giving up some buckets this year. All right. Well, we just go young cores. They got to be top of the top. Them, New Orleans. Who else do you even bring up? Like OKC, I guess, but they haven't shown anything.
Like it depends on how young we're talking. Like I guess
Atlanta maybe, but all those guys are getting to the point where are they even young anymore? Probably got the best young core in the league.
Memphis
Boston. Boston is like surprising how young those guys are.
Yeah.
It'd be Memphis or Cleveland probably, or New Orleans. Probably Memphis or Cleveland.
Yeah, exciting times. Any college football week 1 stuff you want to talk about? Illinois stinks.
Yeah, they got fucked.
Most teams are who we thought they were. Georgia surprised me a little bit that they just steamrolled Oregon, although Oregon's candy ass. But
I was very much on the side the whole week that Oregon was going to get run off that fucking field, and they did. Did I think they were going to lose 51-3? No. That was a thorough shit pumping.
Yeah, it was.
Stetson Bennett's just an NFL quarterback, Wes. I don't know how many more weeks we got.
NFL?
Stetson Bennett is going to play multiple years in the NFL. Is he going to be Well, sure. But I think there was a lot of people that are like, he won't even get a sniff of being on a roster.
Yeah, maybe he's a backup. Maybe.
Chase Daniel. He's Chase Daniel.
We'll see. Yeah, maybe he's a backup. He's playing very well.
Speaking of quarterback, I think we'll see. It'll flip all week. I'm team CJ Stroud between him and Bryce Young. I've made a decision. Plant my flag.
Why?
Bryce Young being 165 pounds really concerns me. He is so small. I don't think
small.
last year.
There's a lot of small quarterbacks now.
Yeah, Kyler is heavier than Bryce Young probably. Like,
I don't know.
Kyler's thick. He's kind of thick. Bryce Young is little. I think they'll both be good. Stroud to me just projects. I've seen a CJ Stroud be successful in the NFL.
He didn't have an awesome game. He played okay. I thought he played okay against Notre Dame. Tough matchup. Good defense.
So I'll flip that every single week. This week, I'm CJ Stroud. Speaking of quarterbacks that in the 2023 draft, Anthony Richardson, he did all the stuff that the people thought he could do. And as a guy that bet him to win the Heisman at like 30-1 or some crazy shit, I'm pretty stoked.
He is a true sophomore?
Yes. So he will be eligible he'll play one more season after this year.
I would like to lay as much money as possible on him winning the Heisman this year or next year. If I could have both years, that would be cool. I think he's a little like I would describe him like Cam Newton-ish, and like he throws like with full force on throws that he doesn't need to. He throws very, very throws the ball very hard on short routes and not a lot of touch. I think he needs to work on that. Freak show athlete.
Arm strength out of this fucking world.
Off the charts.
Him outrunning every defender on the other team 45 yards to the
45 yards to the just intoxicating arm strength and athleticism. Incredible.
The twitchiness on that 2-point conversion at that size to like be able to maneuver to get that 2-point conversion was
I thought he was
pretty wild.
I thought he was draft eligible. I didn't realize he wasn't. So incredible.
Yeah.
The Gators are back.
Maybe these teams also tank this year because I think Caleb Williams and him is a more enticing duo than these two guys this year.
Interesting, yeah. Caleb Williams, I didn't watch any of that game. They played some awful team and killed them.
Yeah, I didn't see him either, but I've seen him play enough to know.
I saw him play last year. Yeah.
Would enjoy having him on my team.
Yep. You could play for me.
If I had to pick right now, just because I haven't really seen Richardson play enough, I would still lean Caleb Williams probably.
All four of them are in the draft. Rank them 1 to 4.
Williams, Richardson, Stroud, Young.
Defending Heisman Trophy winner as a sophomore, Bryce Young, 4th. Fuck him.
He's built like a high school freshman.
You can't touch any players anymore. He'd be crucified if he was touched.
Not be able to see over the goddamn line. He's a fucking
Kyler
midget.
Murray is literally 5'8".
Yeah, and he fucking sucks.
He does not.
I know.
Winner.
Yeah. Well, trying to think if I have any other takeaways, really. Oh, yeah, all the 2 games that were supposed to be good games.
I'm bummed that Utah lost. I was hoping they could make a run in the playoff. I really like Cam Rising. That was a bummer. But Florida looked good. Maybe Florida makes a run. Richardson's really fun.
Yeah, it's got to be a shitty feeling. Week 1, your season's just kind of over. That's kind of got to be a little bit depressing.
They could go 11-1 and make it, maybe win the conference. I don't know, but yeah, it's a bad look.
Not great. Kind of sad. Awesome game though. Like quintessential sick college football game. Raucous crowd. Sundown in the swamp. Down to the fucking wire. Winning drive. Good stuff. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, college football's back. It's there's just nothing like it. There's nothing like it. The clock stopping without your first down. How about the North Carolina App State game? Did you watch that?
I was at a bar. I was eating some lunch. That poor kicker, that piece of shit holder. What a fucker. The laces were in on the goddamn extra point like an asshole.
On which one? On the No, I'm talking about the North
Oh
Carolina
no,
App State game.
I'm
You're
talking.
talking
What
about
am I talking?
LSU.
No, I'm talking about Eastern
Oh, East Carolina.
Carolina.
East
East
Carolina.
Carolina.
I did not watch that game. He laces were in.
Yeah, they scored a touchdown with like 2 minutes left to tie the game. He fucking shanked the extra point. And then they got the ball back again, had a field goal to win it, and he missed the fucking field goal again.
Don't get on the bus.
No. Oh, well, the extra point, the holder just laces in. It was an absolute disaster. NC App State, yeah, there was like 45 points scored in the fourth quarter or some egregious number like that.
I'm pretty sure App State. No, this can't be right. App State, I think, scored 40 points by themselves in the fourth quarter.
And they didn't win.
And they didn't win the game. They scored 61 points and lost.
Yeah, that was some wild stuff. Wild stuff.
Surely, I need to find it. Surely they didn't score 40 by themselves, right? Right. How about the Florida State LSU games? Did you watch that? I was drafting during that time, but we did have it on in the background.
I watched it. I kind of shut it off because I thought LSU had no chance. I saw the updates on my phone. I was laying in bed watching the very end of the game on my phone. I did my best to not scream whenever that kick got blocked. It was, my mouth was on the floor.
My mouth was on the floor when they fucking ran a pitch play from the 1 and fumbled.
Yeah.
You're fired. What are we doing?
Yeah, you're out.
Just fall down and kick a field goal. What are we doing? I would like to report there were 62 total points scored in the fourth quarter, 40 points by App State.
College football is stupid, but that's why it's the best.
Yeah, really cool.
Oh, man, that is really something. I'm drafting a fantasy football team right now.
Oh, I forgot we ran a little late.
Ran a little over, so I'm trying to.
What pick did you get?
What pick did I get? I already made my first pick, which was at pick number.
Let me guess.
I don't know how to go. How do I go back? How do I?
Just look at the third round.
The 1, 2, 3, 7th pick out of.
With the first pick in the 14 draft
league.
14 team league in the first pick. What's the settings? Scoring settings.
I believe it's half PPR, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, tight end, flex, single.
With the first pick in the work league draft, you selected Jamar Chase.
Stephon Diggs. Jamar Chase, I don't believe, was on the board.
Man, tough league. 3 receivers picked in the first 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Stephon Diggs. I picked him in the first round of a draft too, earlier this week.
My pick's coming up here. I'm thinking Aaron Jones. I'm thinking Tyreek Hill. I'm thinking Pittman. T. Higgins, maybe. DJ Moore. I don't know which way to go. Do I pick another receiver? Do I need to get a running back now? And one of these guys on auto pick, so Aaron Jones is going to get picked, I think.
Okay.
I assume this auto pick is going to be Aaron Jones, so that kind of makes my decision. Who else just
maybe he has his rankings in there, and he'll take somebody else.
Tyreek Hill's also gone, so it's looking like Michael Pittman's probably going to be the pick here. Or do we like Chubb or Fournette or Javonte Williams?
I think if Fournette stays healthy, he's going to be really good. I'm just not in that spot. I'm not a running back guy. You know that. I will be encouraging Michael Pittman or T. Higgins, and then hoping one of those get back to you or DJ Moore.
Yeah, man, who am I going to have at running back if I wait? All these guys fucking suck. If I don't take one of these guys,
Yeah, I get it. It's
so shitty.
It's not for everyone. I get it. It's ugly. I get it. Take Ramondre Stevenson. Whatever you do, take Ramondre.
Is that an honest thing you're telling me?
Yeah, I love him.
Okay.
AJ Dillon. Get AJ Dillon too.
Okay, yeah, I could reasonably take AJ Dillon with my pick after this one, I guess.
That's what I'll do. 14 team league. That would be early, probably, but I like him.
I mean, according to these rankings, it's it's around where you should go, early. I guess.
Okay, I like Dillon. All right, if you stayed this long, you got to the fantasy talk portion of the episode. Not even like general advice or player takes, really. It's just we're just drafting a team.
All right. Yeah, that'll do it. A lot was discussed. I'm very excited for football season. I'm excited for all you guys to listen all football season. And
Yeah. If you're enjoying listening, maybe you like I listen to The Bachelorette and I'm going to see what else these guys are up to. This is what we're up to. We're talking about football. We're going to talk the NBA if there's any news. Stay tuned. Go to the YouTube, like it, subscribe. We'd love to see that. Anyone listening from my new job, what's up? Good to see you here. Rate the episode. Tell your friends. It's a lot of fun. We got content for the whole family. And yeah, thanks for listening. We'll be back for the finale of The Bachelorette on Monday to wrap it all up. So we'll see you there. Thanks for listening.